X Insiders podcast. We have the Mexico GP after our absence last week, which we do apologize. We are finally back. It's me and Renegade today, so we do not have Tegrity with our usual FMF Free Money Friday bets. Hopefully we can still give you some Free Money Friday bets. But yeah, I got Renegade over here, bud. What's going on?
Good to be back after a month's break. And obviously, we didn't do last week, but it's good to be talking F1 again. Just get back into everything. And yeah, we all like motorsports here, so
Oh,
good to
yeah.
be back.
Oh, yeah. No, it's I felt like having 3 weeks off again was kind of threw me off rhythm. Just I wanted to do some of my research, but obviously some of the things that happened in my life was just taking over, and then finally I get to the week and I'm like, "Oh shit. I got to get on my research." And it just felt like forever. I feel like this calendar year's just gone on forever. But and we still have what, 6 weeks, 8 weeks even? I don't even know anymore. But yeah, man,
Yeah, 5 races,
five
five
races.
races left,
That's
and
it. The final stretch. And we know who the champion is, technically, right?
doing.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we do.
unless there's some absolute disaster in Red Bull, I mean,
The only thing I think that really opens it up is a max DNF. If that happens, sort of back in the game a bit.
so we're calling on Osama to be in full form this weekend. Yes, maybe.
Yes, yes.
Turn one, he's there.
Or Sergio Perez if he just does another turn in on Max this time.
How funny would that be if we get another Sergio Perez DNF right in turn one? I mean, I don't even know what to say if that happened. So, yeah.
Just doing research for the pod and looking at last year's, I was like, that must have been his best start ever in any race, and then he just destroys the car.
Just, yeah, absolute shit. All right. Well, I think people don't want to hear us talk about Sergio Perez because I still hate the guy for losing me so much money over the course of a year and a half. So, very sad situation this past weekend too. I mean, I don't even know what to say. The guy is just a clown. He's a donkey. He's an absolute donkey when it comes to racing. And he proved that last year in Las Vegas. Absolute donkey. So we'll keep moving on from that. But we got the Mexico
Yeah.
GP. We got the Mexico GP. Completely different track. So I mean, this is a shorter track for all intents and purposes too. But we're talking about obviously the obvious here, which is altitude. And, we obviously have talked at length about that in the Discord and how that could impact. You're probably already seeing it all over F1 Twitter about how that's going to impact the cars this weekend. And then, yeah, I think I don't know if this is the softest compound. I think it was C3, C4, C5, I believe. Yes, that is confirmed. I don't remember what it was last year, but I thought I heard someone say that they are going softer this year than last year. Maybe someone can confirm that with me. But this track is definitely a lot different. It's historically been a Max dominated track, Red Bull dominated track. Yada, yada, yada. Honda engines are the greatest here. But I don't think that's the case anymore. I think now that we've closed the gap, not only just in the front of the field, but we're seeing this with the midfield as well, which we'll get into. But yeah, let's go right into it. So let's talk about the impacts first off with FP1 and the reserve drivers and the opportunity with betting there. I know that you've been engaged with some of the folks. I think there's some books that are still offering FP1 lines. I believe it's FanDuel. That's a donkey book that is still leaving their lines out there. Very big opportunity if you have access to it. if you are like me, where you don't have access to that book, you're kind of stuck because right now Bovada doesn't really have any FP1 odds, which I need to check Bet
I'll see.
Online. So
You've got one then, or that you can't bet, but there's one.
there
So
is
they
one.
did go out. They
Okay.
did the FPR market did go out on 365, and then I think the rest came up, which I'm a
Mm,
bit surprised they came out in the first place. But if you still got some up, then we do have a number of drivers sitting out and a number of top drivers, which allows for opportunities for the ones that are still there to win
hmm.
and opportunities for us to make some money.
Yeah.
And we'll shout out Jens Christian, who has been on it for this FP1 session with who's in and who's out. I'll just go through them quickly.
Yes, please
That
do.
O'Ward is in for Norris, most likely, not confirmed, but most likely. We have Antonelli for Hamilton, Behrman for Leclerc, Schwartzman for Joe, so no change there really, and Dragovic for Alonso. So we got drivers that are still in that you might want to take a position are Piastri, Sainz, Perez, Russell, and Max. And Max is the shortest there at like plus 275. The rest you're getting double digits near enough. So
Okay.
you can
What are
have
the
to pay for
odds?
all of them or
What
one
are
of them.
Let's make sure that any listener out there is not just grabbing some crappy odds though. What odds are did he post for
Sure.
these?
So Piastri is 9 to 1.
Ooh, beauty.
Sainz is my odds comparison is failing me here. Plus 650, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Perez 20 to 1 and Russell 16 to 1. I
Dang.
mean, these are massive prices, really.
Those are very massive. Yeah, I'm just now surfing DraftKings, MGM, Bet Online. No one's posting FP numbers in those. That's smart, books. That's very smart of you. Um, yeah, that's an opportunity. Does Bet 365 have some FP lines or no?
No, I think
Mm,
they came up originally, but now they're back down.
mm,
So we
okay.
need to find the friend who has a fan duel. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, we might have to phone a friend if it's still up for sure. 100%. I mean, you are removing what, four drivers off the grid. So
Yeah.
that's a big opportunity for you to strike, especially on long odds to win. Hey, you know what? You might have an opportunity though in live betting. You just never know. Get in, watch it. Maybe you can find that opportunity because between the four to win, you might still get something there. Which I mean, at this point, it seems like that's all like half a choice on, unless Bovada posts something here in the next 2 days. But other than that, like that's your only opportunity to get in on those. And then I'm not even looking. No one's posting any head to heads. Bet Online has some, but they've only posted the ones that are actually driving. So like well, actually they put Lewis and George. So I mean that's just going to void anyways. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's it's kind of slim pickings on what you can pick for FP1.
Usually the market does come back eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be surprised if it wasn't back by Friday. And usually
Yeah.
we're targeting these sort of markets because they're not giving the rookies any tough schedule. So they're never going to win. I doubt it. Maybe it's never say never,
Well,
but
I will say if I can get a Pato top three, 16 to 1, I might dabble with it just for shits.
maybe.
I'm a big Pato fan. Or Behrman. I mean, we know what Behrman's capable of doing,
And the bear,
but he's not going to be 16 to 1. There's no way.
no.
No way.
So it might be too short of a price. If he's like six to
Yeah.
one, I could see him being like six, like something ridiculous. Single figures. If he's single figures,
For to win.
yeah, to win.
To win. Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't know. I don't think I could do it with those the four others on there, but it's a situation, right? But again, top three. If you can get Behrman 3 to 1 or longer, we should do it, right? We should. Ferrari,
Did we have a
Behrman.
driver? Did we have one of them drivers be in the top three recently, or like just miss out? I feel like remembering something like that.
Wasn't it earlier in the season where he just drove out of his mind and got top six in a race?
Maybe,
It was a
maybe.
Jetta, right? When Sainz sacrificed his body for Behrman, basically.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking maybe Schwartzman or Alpine in
Maybe
an
that is.
FP. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not
I
sure.
yeah. See, this is where I'm lacking. I'm lacking the details there, but I think there's there potentially value with Behrman. Pato, I mean, you know, big IndyCar fan. So are you. IndyCar's,
I,
UK's number one IndyCar fan. Pato O'Ward is the bomb. I love him. I think he could actually get into that car and do some damage. And plus, it's his home race too. Let's not forget. Maybe he wants to prove something. Maybe Zach wants to throw something out there for the crew because Perez is a donkey, and he wants to introduce something even better. So, you know, Pato might be a guy to keep an eye out on. I guess Kimmy
the Mex
too, but
the Mexican head to head would be interesting if that
wouldn't.
did come up.
Oh, give me Pato. I don't care. I'm done with Perez. I will not put a dime on that guy. I don't care how good the odds are. And then watch this weekend. I'll be like, oh, 25 to 1. Ooh. That guy just pisses me off, man. I don't know how you could be on the right side and he still finds a way to fuck it up. He just does.
And you know what? I think we got tricked in Azerbaijan because somehow the stars aligned, the moon was in the correct place, and nearly won that somehow. But then he
Somehow.
got taken out,
Yeah.
and he's just been terrible ever since.
Awful. But it's not it's the way he's just how many times have we been chatting in the race chat, watching the race, and we're all like, most of us have maybe backed him in some way, form, or fashion, and we're just waiting for him to pass someone in the midfield, and he just fucking can't. He just can't.
It's 100%. You're like he's in a Red Bull. I did it for Singapore, the group. He had just had to overtake Hulkenberg about 30 laps. No, it's too
Yeah.
difficult.
How many of the drivers have we seen that are in the top four teams start in the back of the grid and somehow make it up into the top six perfectly fine? Yeah,
Yeah,
Perez doesn't, and that just shows driver skill is just gone from him. It's gone, just done. I'm done. I'm
you
not
can tell with our betting because that used to be community bet. Perez podium every time,
every
even if he
time.
started eighth,
Yeah.
but not anymore.
I, I swear to God, if one of you puts him as a community bet, I might ban you for life. I
Top
might
six?
ban you
No,
for
no.
God damn that guy. Just yeah. But I even said it. I called it out of my tips where I was like, you know what? If it just goes sour, if it just goes wrong, but the way it happened too was the fact like he was there, he was in sixth. I was like, if he could have just gotten ahead early on in the race, he might have gotten a little bit more of a gap on Russell. Yes, the 5 second penalty helped a little bit, but I mean, come on. Like you've do better, dude. Like the way it just lost was kind of like, oh, gut wrenching. At the last lap, the final lap, I think it was, where I was like, you're kidding me, this guy. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so we've talked about FP1, we talked about these reserve drivers. Now let's flip to FP2 because as I was trying to check in on the chat today, our friend from was it Bet365 betting F1 guy? I can't remember.
Yeah, there are other bookmakers available. Yeah,
Yeah, I've completely forgot the Pirelli test in FP2, which presents another opportunity, which we should talk about. You now have Alonso, Hamilton, Norris, Zhou, and Leclerc that all get a choice of tire to still use before they have to switch over to the Pirelli for the test. So unless something wild goes happen with these new tires, those those five guys right there are the opportunity for you. One for FP3 bet, or I'm sorry, top three bets, and then two, you might want to just slam Norris or Norris, Leclerc, and Hamilton for all I know to win. Just depends on what the odds are, of course, but that's your
yeah.
opportunity in FP2 is those five we got to definitely, and you have to do it because the books are just going to post odds probably. Maybe they don't remember, whatever the situation. We've got to be on it immediately as soon as they start dropping odds. Look at it. Don't even think. Just take it. But yes, Alonso, Hamilton, Norris, Zhou, Leclerc for FP2, which kind of also sucks because
It
I
is
was,
all of them, the main people anyway.
yeah, I was hoping to get some good data on in FP2, which we'll get probably some decent, okay data from Alonso, Hamilton, Norris, Zhou, Leclerc. I don't know, but I do want to come back to this, but let's first talk about best bets because we haven't even got to that yet. So I don't have
Okay.
one myself, but what do you have?
So I was looking today just to wet the whistle, and I came on Carlos Sainz, even though I don't think he's a particularly great driver. He is
Ooh,
quite good here, allegedly. Um, Last year, I think he qualified P2. Let me just confirm that.
wait, wait,
I
wait.
think he did.
So let me just dust my ears off over here. Did you just say Carlos Sainz?
He's a good driver. Well, no, I didn't say that.
You didn't
I
say
did
that.
say bet on Carlos Sainz, yeah.
You did say that.
I prefer really
Yeah.
not to speak.
Yeah, I'm just okay. Okay, keep going.
And you know what? I can't wait to qualifies out of, in Q2, and then I'll be like,
I am stupid. I am stupid.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
but he did qualify P2 last year. He was less than a tenth slower than Leclerc, who qualified on pole. In 2022, he outqualified Leclerc, and the Ferrari is a much better machine than I think
Yeah,
it's been in the most recent years.
definitely
They've
has.
got the race pace, and the tyres aren't randomly dropping off all of a sudden. And I think if the pace is there in the car, if Leclerc has the pace, Sainz should have the pace to be up there with him. I can't see the track suiting both Red Bull and Norris and McLaren at the same time. Ferrari's going to be in there somehow, and I think plus 200 is way too big. It should be like plus maybe 125, something like that. And Piastri is he's not great at this track. Another one he's not great at. So I think Sainz is the person to go with at the moment.
I definitely I'm seeing it. I believe it. I agree with you. Going back to your point, I think the proof was in the pudding last week with the race. I mean, we saw it. The sample was there. Sprint race. Both, I mean, Ferraris were fighting each other basically at one point. And Leclerc, it could have been Sainz too. If Sainz was the one that got ahead, of
Yeah.
Leclerc, I mean, he would have been the one first, and Leclerc would have been probably second. So
I think that the only difference with the gap is that Leclerc had clean air and
that's it,
Sainz was sort of
100%.
stuck behind Max.
Yeah,
There's
and
only like 5 seconds between them.
it was within 5 seconds, pretty much. I would say 75% of the race until towards the end. I think they both started slowing down a little bit, just a little bit, because they knew like Max and Lando were tickling each other basically for 20 laps, and then those two were just like, whatever, we have this thing locked in, 1-2, don't risk it, don't push it too hard now.
Yeah.
But 2-1 is definitely, I agree. Like Piastri is a little, he's inflated. McLaren odds, right? That's what it is right now.
Yeah.
The only thing is that worries me is which fucking Mercedes are we going to get this weekend? Like they've been hard to really gauge. Like I mean, 5-1 for both. The way it's just being priced right now is, I mean, books are trying to protect themselves a little bit with the Red Bulls, Ferraris, and the McLarens, and then they just don't give a shit about Mercedes. I think you bring up an interesting point, though. let's go back to this because I think there's differing of opinions on Ferrari and how they will assume in this track. McLaren too, Red Bull. I mean, I think
Yeah.
someone posted about Dr. Obbs's comments about Red Bull, and then Shallow Hal was like, "What are you talking about? This guy doesn't know." And I mean, it's valid. He's got a valid point. So now my question to you is, who actually is going to be best fitted for this track?
I mean, we have no idea, right? I mean, that's the truthful
I mean-
answer. But
That is true. I mean,
it's just a very
it's
generic track,
true.
sort of.
It's got more. It doesn't have like the twisty turns and like low mid turns like you have in Austin. So you don't do the big tire stress like you would over there. Here it's more flat out. Some slow speed cornering, and then you're basically
Long straight.
mid high speed corners most of the way, or you're just top end. So
I think it'd be similar to last week, really. I mean, I don't think Mercedes can do much better than they did. That car seems a mess. Both
Yeah.
Russell and Hamilton, they're not only complaining about it, they've crushed the car.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know what they're gonna do.
did Russell crash as well?
That's what
Russell
I'm saying,
crashed
and that's
qualifying,
and
and
that
Hamilton crashed in the race.
I think wasn't it the same area where they both crashed? I don't.
I think so. Yeah, I think just
So that's the
Hamilton beat
car.
City,
That's
didn't
got to be
crash
the
into wall.
car right
Yeah.
there. It's proof.
Yeah.
That's not just driver. That's the car. So there's something
But-
fundamentally wrong.
The advantage they have here is that there's free practices sessions they can go through.
Yes.
There's not a rush,
Yes.
and I feel like whenever we get sprint weekends, it's just a gamble who's got the setup right, like off the go.
Which is, I never understood that. Like, why? I understand they want Coda as like a good benchmark for your upgrade, but you only have one FP session to do this. That's it. There's only one FP session. Why do we risk that? And I think that shows why Ferrari was okay with what they did. I mean, yeah, I never understood that. But going back to Mercedes, I'm still in that camp that there might be something. One, I don't know what the confirmation is on Hamilton's car and what they're going to use for spare parts, but it seemed like when Mercedes reverted Russell's car, some of the parts were the older parts. It seemed like he found something better in that car with the pace as the race went on. I mean, he obviously got to top 6 at that point. So are they going to see something from that, do something similar with Hamilton, and then we see some of that pace get extracted? Because, yeah, I think that McLaren and Mercedes have always been a draggy car, but now they're in a place where drag doesn't really impact as much. It's all about downforce. This has also got flat out straights, which is going to favor Mercedes power unit. This has more mid to high speed corners than it does low speed, which favors both McLaren and Mercedes. So that's where I'm like, the odds might be in our favor with Mercedes, but there is a huge gamble because of what happened last weekend.
Yeah. And the car in the sprint where Russell just dropped off like a brick.
Yeah.
Because his tyres were just overheating. Is that going to, because I can't see that happening again.
No.
It's very un-Mercedes.
And it's
Something
it's
that
cooler
drastic
temps.
happen.
We were already
Yeah.
seeing it's going to be cooler temps, so I don't think the tire situation is going to be the issue for them. We're going to the softer compounds, which it seemed like they found something with the soft compounds last week before shit hit the fan. Yeah, I'm
And I think they did, and I think just going back, they did go, what were the compounds? I think they did go one softer.
they went
I
one
think
softer.
last year
last
year they
year,
used C3, C4, C5.
so they used the same ones.
Oh, the same ones.
Yeah, those were the same ones then.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think
Are they a step softer than last week?
they are. Last week was C2,
Okay.
C2, C3, C4. So we're going a step softer, which shouldn't that favor Max with that Dr. Obbs comment about being on the softer compound. They were better on the softer compounds than they were the medium and the hard. So technically, we're going one softer. That means it would favor a bit for Max and Red Bull.
Yes, I think so. And we saw McLaren were better on the hard tyres, which was just an observation from last week. Well, they weren't better, or maybe Red Bull was slower, we think. Whichever one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have a bet, man. I don't have one. Again,
I got one that I think you'd
go
like.
for it. Keep going, and then I'm
As
gonna
it's
keep
as it's
browsing.
Mexico,
Yeah.
fastest lap. He's announcing his retirement, and he's going to go out on a blaze of glory.
Oh,
Sergio
no.
Perez, fastest lap,
Oh my
20,
god.
20 to 1.
We just spent 20 minutes talking about how we're never, and here we are. We're not even 20 minutes in, and I'm like 20 to 1. Here we go, guys. I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah.
How could I not?
Look, if Daniel Ricciardo gets one, Sergio Perez gets one at
Oh,
Mexico, that's going to increase Red Bull sales in Mexico by 1,000,000%.
why are you doing this to me, man?
Brother,
Why are you doing this?
what's that?
You know what? Tell you what. If you're going to do it, I will do it. And this is like our send off of never betting this man again. And if he hits, I will forgive him for. I'll forgive him. Let's just put it that. I'll forgive him, but doesn't mean I'm going to bet him again. I will forgive
We're
him.
definitely going F1 Kappa betting sizes here, like 0.1, 0.1.
Yeah. We're not beer money here, buddy. Beer money here. Yeah. No. Or maybe do we do like 0.3 units? What do we think? I mean, no, stop. Crazy. No.
Yeah.
Beer money. That's it.
So I can't wait for him to put tires on the last lap and just not get it. I can't wait for that.
Oh my god, I will. Oh,
That would be so Sergio Perez if that happened.
that would. Oh my god, I might laugh. I just would just laugh. I would just laugh and cry and say, "What am I doing with my life?" Okay. If there is, I don't even like these odds to be honest with you. But the top 6. I don't even know if I want both team drivers top 6, but maybe I would take a stab at Mercedes. Or if we think about it, do we really
the problem with that is they might displace one out of the top teams, but they displace like Perez is gone, but who else is? Who are the other 2 drivers?
I mean, it's gonna be some random driver that spoils it, but like, who would that be? I mean,
maybe Piastri like hangs on or something like that. He's like 5th.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Would they both beat Piastri? Maybe one does.
I mean, it's not worth the bet, to be honest with you, right now.
Maybe it was a bigger price. I mean, currently it's 125.
If it was
maybe it was like
3 to 1,
a
2
bit
to
bigger.
1, 2 to 1. I don't know. I just, what I really want is number of drivers to lead a lap. I really want that one. I wish I could have that market. This is the place you want to take the over 2.5 for sure.
Because I think odds were like terrible.
Probably. But I would even consider like 3.5, 4.5, because if we have the top 4 teams within range of each other, I mean, they're going to probably stay within because it's technically a short track. I mean, it takes you a minute 15 to get around, a minute 20.
I think it was minus 250 the price
for 2.5.
Yeah, 3 or more drivers on the 365.
Where's it at? 360. Oh, nice. Let's get in there. Number of race leaders. Oh, that's exact. Yeah. Oh, that's the only market you guys have. Number of race leaders is just that.
Yeah. 1, 2, or 3 or more.
Yeah. It's so unfortunate they don't post those as much anymore. Like if you can find it at 3.5, 4.5, and the odds are long at 4.5, you should take it. It's very possible you could see, up to 5. Not saying it's going to, but it's very possible.
Yeah.
What other markets? What other markets? Classified.
Oh yeah. Our favorite.
It's pretty even for over under 18.5 right now. I think Bovada moved it a little bit.
So did we get? Because I haven't been betting it. Did we get under 18.5 eventually? Was it last week? We did.
Was it under 18.5 last week?
Yeah, we had 2 DNFs, Albon and Magnussen, last week. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong way. That
Yeah,
was
I was gonna
Singapore.
say. I think it was only one.
Yeah, it was only Hamilton
Yeah.
was a DNF, and the rest finished. Singapore, two DNFs. But apart from that, Azerbaijan made a lot of DNFs. But apart from that, so what's the price? Or maybe under, I think. That's what I'd go with. Under.
Yeah, let me see.
Under 18.5.
Does Bet Online have anything? Let's see. Oh, buddy. Oh, we're gonna go over. They Bet Online in real time just posted race day matchups, non-teammate.
They have the non.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Let's go through
this.
them.
Let's do it. Starting with who's the first one? Lando Max. So they got Lando at minus 150 over Max. Lando over Charles, minus 130. Max with Leclerc. Max is actually a dog. Even money to Leclerc, minus 130. Sainz, Piastri. Wow. They have Sainz at plus 130 over Piastri. That might be the one.
What was Max over Lando?
Lando was minus 150 over Max. And then Lando was minus 130 over Charles. And then Max was even money.
What's the bet?
What's that?
Max over Lando. What's the price?
Minus 150. Oh, or plus 120. Plus 120. I'm sorry, Max.
Plus 120.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's not too bad. I think maybe if you did Max over Lando and Sainz over Piastri, one's going to hit, and then you get the profit.
Okay,
And then you might get the 2.
Max over Lando. Right. Okay. So then let's keep going. I'd like those.
Yeah.
Russell over Sainz plus 150. Damn, this is juice to Sainz's way. Minus 180 to Sainz. Piastri is minus 240 to Lewis Hamilton. Bro, that's some disrespect. I almost want to just take Hamilton blind just for that shit. Lewis is minus 150.
I think maybe that's the play.
Which one?
I think that's better than double top 6 Mercedes.
Oh, the Hamilton? Yeah.
Over Piastri,
100%.
That's probably how Mercedes get into the top 6. Because Piastri doesn't perform.
And then watch, Piastri gets P1 and Hamilton gets P2. Hamilton is minus 150 to Donkey. I'm not going to even... Man,
Oh, maybe less though.
That is tempting to fade Perez, but this is probably the time he actually wins. Alonso is minus 125 to Hulkenberg. That's interesting. I just feel like...
Is that a bit short? I don't think he should even be favourite from last week.
Right. I just wonder if that would get better odds after Friday, because after seeing Komatsu's remarks on how they think FP1 might go for them. And plus, there has been a lot of times in FP1 we've seen Haas, like, they're just testing. They don't care about the time.
Yeah.
They're bottom 5 or 10. But I think you're right. I should be taking Nico here.
I
think so.
Because I heard after the race that even though Aston Martin finished 13th and 15th, they said their upgrades went to plan, so they just must be terrible at the moment.
I think they want to bin that
Just-
car so bad. They just want to move on to
I th-
next year.
Yeah, I think that's the plan.
So then that means I should be taking Franco over Stroll minus 155. What do we think about that? That looks fun, man. That looks like a fun one. I just know what happens
Yeah.
as soon as I take all these, like the odds are going to completely flip because these guys are going to be donkeys.
What's the price? Is it plus money for Hulkenberg over
No,
Alonso?
it's minus 105.
Oh,
I mean, yeah, $5.
they're both
vig.
all right. I think. Yeah,
It's okay. I mean, maybe go in small and see what
I
happens.
think I prefer Calapinto over Stroll
Kind
because
of
I
do
think the
too,
skill
man.
difference is a lot bigger there.
He's just so much better than Stroll right now. And that car seems to be fine if just Albon would get his shit together. It's like ever since he lost Logan, Albon has been kind of just wonky, not really doing that great. He misses the American man. See, you need us. You need America.
That's his first teammate after Latifi and what's his name? Oh yeah, Logan Sargent.
Yeah, that guy.
And now he's got a proper teammate, isn't it?
Oh,
He's
that's
gone.
great.
He's had Max. That was bad news. Anytime a good a teammate that can drive, it's not good for him.
Okay, last two. Albon minus 140 to Yuki plus 110, and then Magnussen even money to Liam Lawson minus 130.
I think I'd go for Liam Lawson over Magnussen,
Yeah.
even though that was a pretty good drive over Magnussen. He's a bit inconsistent. And what was the other one? Yuki over
Yeah, Albon.
Albon.
I won't touch Albon.
I think you have to take.
I'm just not gonna.
Yeah, I think you take Yuki at plus money,
Yeah.
even though somehow they do a 4-stop or something and you'd lose.
Yeah. Let's see.
But yeah,
Okay. I think there's some good ones. So Max over Lando plus 120. And then Carlos Sainz over Piastri plus 130. And then Franco over Stroll. And then Hulk over Alonso. Those are tickling me for sure.
yeah.
And I feel like plus 190 Lewis Hamilton, like it can get, the only way that gets longer is if Hamilton does another squander of qualifying. I don't think it goes beyond 350 unless that
do
happens.
they keep the markets? Do they keep the markets up? Like put them back up after FPs?
So
Or they like
they won't. They most likely may put them up between FP1 and 2, but I should see them after FP2 because then like we're getting into the next day. So that's a most likely when I would see it and start seeing some changes. And for all intents and purposes, I may not see the same matchups, but most of the time they will keep the same matchup as long as everything is kind of within that range still.
Okay. Because I only asked that because sometimes you could have FP1 and both, let's say both Russell and Hamilton are like the car's terrible. You might not want to back Mercedes in anyway, but it would increase the price.
Yeah. I mean, I think the worst that happens in this situation is there's still a gap between Piastri and Lewis Hamilton. Let's just say Piastri's been finishing in the top 6. Hamilton is like P11. You might see it go to plus 250, which I'm like, okay, yeah, I wish I could have that, but plus 190 is still fairly hefty for odds against a head-to-head, and maybe we get lucky. I don't know. I wouldn't do more than like a half unit on that maybe at that point if I'm getting close to 2-1. So, but I'm really liking this Carlos Sainz. Huh?
Yeah, if you like the Hamilton over Piastri.
I just think it's long. I
It
think
could go
it's
the other way as well. So
for sure. I just think it's a little too long. Again, even if he just has a disaster, yeah, we might see it go even longer, and I'll be like, okay, so it's done. Well, I lose a half unit. So I'm thinking about it, but I think out of all of these, the four we just were talking about,
yeah,
I think I like that Carlos Sainz over Oscar Piastri. I
and
kind
you
of
get on the
do.
train as well.
I just know the minute I back him, he's gonna do something stupid. But I'm feeling that way with anyone.
He has been better.
Yeah.
He has been up there challenging Leclerc's times. So I think
Mm.
I'm his biggest critic, but
I know you are.
he's performing enough.
The fact that you are backing him top 3 makes me say I might just do this, and that's kind of like my top 3 play. I mean,
Yeah.
so interesting. Okay. Well, we've gone through that. I don't see. Yeah, see, Bet Online doesn't have anything for practice. Oh, wait, no, they have practice matchups, but it's only it's just those 4. Any
So
other
one thing we haven't
markets?
gone through
Yeah. Let's hear it.
is qualifying,
Okay.
and we do have now that we have a much more competitive at the front of the field. Yeah, it's more competitive at the front of the field.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have each way options, but a lot of people will, and they're now at 3 places. And I feel like George Russell, we talk about Mercedes 14-1,
I like that. I love it. Absolutely love it. I might have to do that one.
even outright, or you get the top 3 markets if you don't have each way qualifying anyway.
I would.
You can qualify really well in that Mercedes, and it's more of a qualifying car, it seems like. And George Russell's good at qualifying. Top 3 should be fine. Well, he should be near there, hopefully.
I was almost considering, because they have the qualifying matchups for Bet Online, I was almost considering taking him over Lewis now. But again, I worry that, something happens, Lewis finds something with this Frankenstein car that he's about to have, and he finds
Oh,
it.
that's true. Going just saying about Frankenstein, maybe it's the matchup is the play, because
Yeah.
when that Mercedes was terrible in 2022, Russell was like cleaning the floor with Hamilton then. I feel like Hamilton isn't as good when he has a more difficult car
Yep.
to drive compared to Russell.
I'm strongly considering taking it now and just owning it to it. And I don't even know what the performance is between Russell and Hamilton. And also, do we think that he's just kind of Mercedes as a team? They're not racing for anything. I think they're stuck in 4th. They're not going to risk losing anything at this point or gaining anything too, right? Like they're only trying to
Yeah.
collect data for their car next year. Lewis is basically gone. What more are they going to try to offer to him in the next 5 races? I mean, he's still good. I'm not saying he's not going to try. Of course, he's going to try. But do you really think that he's going to put in that much effort, risking anything, and the Mercedes wanting to risk anything, like more money, just in case they get in wrecks, right? Like Russell is who they should be focusing on and who they are focused on. So
It does seem to be like a disconnect. Like he doesn't seem happy there. And that is why he's moving, because he feels like the team hasn't listened to him.
Yeah.
Things like that. And he did say, although he has beaten Russell in qualifying this year, that he was going to struggle all year in qualifying. So there must be something that he doesn't like in the car. And I'm sure his mind is for next year when he hopes that he's going to a more competitive car to fight for his world record. 8th title, is it? But yeah.
Should be 9. Yeah. So do we agree we should be taking Russell? Are there any other non-teammate or teammate head-to-head qualifying odds out there? I don't even know. Let's see.
There is. Is there anyone that we particularly like?
I
Who
mean,
we would back? Colapinto is plus 160. to Albon. I don't know his record, but Albon seems pretty short with his recent performances.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lawson's plus 110 to Yuki. I'm not sure.
Wow. Man, they have no faith in that man who can't see over the steering wheel. I know that's mean. I get okay. Okay. Carlos Sainz. What is Carlos Sainz to Leclerc?
He's plus 150.
Oh, this one's plus 190. Man, Bet Online is. I swear they have the key. I'm telling you. This happened last week where I was like, wow, I can grab Norris over Sainz, which was a huge mistake. I knew better. But the odds were like minus 120 for taking Norris over Sainz. Yet you go to Bovada and it was completely opposite. It was like Norris was, I don't know, minus 170 to Sainz. And I've seen this over the weeks of betting F1. When it gets to race day odds, if you look at Bet Online and you're like, why is that so different? You probably want to go to the other books and just take the other way at that point. Meaning in this situation with that Norris, like he was minus 120 versus minus 170. I should have taken Sainz at whatever it was, plus 130, plus 140 even on Bovada. That was the winner.
Yeah.
That was the one. And I've seen that a few times happen to me over the year with this. I think the one that I would probably definitely target is George Russell over Lewis, minus 130.
Yeah.
That's
and I was just looking quickly. Do we have any Alpine intel this week? Do we think? I'm not sure. I've seen Yuki out qualifying.
I think there's the same scenario here too that we just talked about with Russell and Lewis. Ocon's checked out. I think they're just focused on Gasly. Didn't Gasly have upgraded parts too? I don't know if Ocon has his, but I think that over the past 4 races, everything has been Gasly at this point. At least in.
So are we admitting now that Gasly may be the better driver?
No way. Get out of here. I will never admit that. I'm chalking it to the French just hate each other and they hate Ocon.
Yeah.
They hate Gasly less. That's it. So
Gasly's minus 200 if anyone wants to take him.
Gross.
I don't think that's too bad.
That's gross. Good luck. All right. I think I like these. I haven't made a play, but I will say I think I'm going to do Russell over Hamilton qualifying, and I'll probably hate myself after the weekend. But actually, it shouldn't even change because Lewis is not going to be in the car FP1. So there is an advantage for taking that. They're just right there. Yeah. Right there.
And then he's going to be in a tire test, which may or may not.
And then there it is. Fuck. I'm doing it. There's my play. Russell over Hamilton, a unit. Let's make sure I got the right guy. Jesus. Okay. It's in. That's my bet. I got one. Yay. Okay. All right. We've been talking for almost an hour. Jesus. Well, this was good though. What else are we missing anything? Oh, I did want to mention one thing going back to the qualifying, that 2 things to caution on. One, do not take any of the bets with fastest qualifier win the race bets. Don't do it because there's a disadvantage of being P1 and 2 at this track with the slipstream going into turn 1. And second thing, the just extreme volatility you're going to get in terms of track evolution at this track is it could be very, very wild. So be careful. And it's funny I said that because I just placed a bet that could probably screw me, but I gave you my reasons why I'm going to back Russell. So just those 2 points.
Yeah. I think we've gone through most things, just looking at the markets quickly. Last classified, who knows last classified? We don't need to go through that.
Let me guess. Let me guess. Joe. Hey, he's not that bad this
Oh.
week. Minus 140 on Bovada.
He's improving. He's somehow improved. I don't know how. He was last classified last week.
He was?
You're just gambling. He was, I think. Your
Bone?
question.
No, wait.
Was he not?
Oh, wait. No, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. No. I'm looking
Hang on, I've got it up. He was just plus 1 lap. Who knows how far he was behind Ocon?
Oh, yeah. he
Bottas
was-
did beat Ocon. I don't know what's happening there. Maybe Ocon is the
Wow.
play.
Well, interesting fact for the Alpine boys, which I don't know if that actually plays into this weekend. They did not like the hard set of compounds. Their car hated it, did not do well with it. And as soon as they slapped those things on, they lost performance. And that's why, I mean, Gasly was P6, wasn't he? At one point, he dropped to 12. Jeez.
Yeah, he started P6.
Mhm.
Obviously, Russell was he qualified P7. And then went backwards from there,
Yeah.
which is a bit it's probably the car performance more than anything. That was very good qualifying by him.
Yeah. I can't find anything else. Markets are pretty small right now for Bovada and most of them really. So I guess we could just maybe let's go one more time. Well, first let's see. Well, let's give me your top 3. Fun prediction.
Top 3. Oh,
Yeah.
Leclerc, Sainz, and Max in that
Damn.
order.
You think we're going to see a repeat?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say I'm going to say Max, Leclerc, and then Lando.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going to say those 3. And I think it's going to be then like Russell, Sainz. I don't know. What the fuck do I know right now? Anyways. So just making a wild prediction. Why not? I'll stick with that. So, all right. Any last thoughts or markets or anything that you want to talk about?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, this was fun, man. I will cash my Carlos Sainz top 3 maybe, and my
Yes.
Sergio Perez fastest lap because you talked me into it, and Russell. Well, actually, I haven't bet the Sainz one yet, but
We'll be talking about that fastest lap next week on the next
I
podcast.
can't wait. I can't wait for him to lose it or not even get it. And then that will be even more fun to talk about.
Yes, it will be.
All righty. Well, I'll see you this weekend. Everyone, find us in the Discord. Oh, and I forgot to throw a plug in. I'm still getting, this is what I'm talking about. I'm still trying to get back up to speed after 4 freaking weeks off. We do have a sponsorship with, maybe I should say partnership with Grid Rivals. So if you haven't seen it already, please download the app. It's one of the best motorsports focused pick'ems, DFS, and fantasy app. We all use it, love it. Anyways, we have a promo code as well. So find it in the Discord and the links below. So yeah, let's have some fun this weekend.
Yeah. See you next week.
All righty. See ya.